I call the member for Koowarumba.
Thanks, Acting Deputy Speaker. Proud today to speak to this year's appropriation bill introduced by our Treasurer, the Honourable Cameron Dick. And what a fine Treasurer and what a fine budget, I must say. This is now my 9th year of supporting a strong state Labor budget with cost of living relief, jobs and infrastructure, health, education and housing all at its forefront. Speaker, we're delivering $550 in cost of living relief straight to Queensland households through their electricity bills. I've already had calls to my office about how helpful that is and will be. For vulnerable households with electricity concessions, the relief is nearly double, and there's a $650 rebate for eligible small businesses as well. My biggest motivation, and most in this place know that, Acting Deputy Speaker, to run for Parliament was to make sure we kept our electricity and assets in public hands. We have, and that's why we can deliver these dividends for Queenslanders, right when they need it most. Speaker, our $89 billion 4-year Big Build capital infrastructure program is phenomenal for our state and will support about 58,000 jobs in the next financial year alone. It's exciting to see the number of clean energy projects, including the largest pumped hydro project in the world, getting their start in this budget, thanks to our Queensland Energy and Jobs Plan. There's also money for dams. I know those opposite love dams, including $12 million over 2 years for a safety upgrade at North Pine Dam, located at the southern end of my electorate and mostly in the electorate of my neighbour, for Pine Rivers. I know this will make residents in Whiteside and Joyner very happy, and once completed we'll be able to raise the dam's capacity back up over its current level of around 70%. Another budget item that will make residents in the south of my electorate happy, and many in the north too, who commute towards the city for work, is $15 million to deliver an upgrade to the intersection of Dayborough and Youngs Crossing roads. I look forward to working with Moreton Bay Regional Council on this project. And I'll just put on the record here once again, I still want to see consideration of another river crossing to the west of this intersection as part of the longer-term Moreton motorway planning process. There's plenty of power line corridors out there that could be utilised for roads as well. For public transport commuters in and around Burpengary, there's great news in this budget, almost $15 million for the Burpengary Station accessibility upgrade. The project tender has been awarded to Hutchinson's Builders, early prep works commenced back in February, and locals will soon see a lot of more high-vis activity on site. There's a bit more money for Narangba Station parking extension too, and I'm sure the Minister's sick of me knocking on the door about this one, but it's a project that's very close to my heart and I'll be jumping for joy when it's delivered. We've increased health funding by almost 10%. There's funding in the budget to operationalise our new satellite hospitals, with both the Caboolture and Kalanga facilities set to benefit my constituents by providing non-urgent health care close to home. It was great to tour the Caboolture Satellite Hospital with the Health Minister a couple of weeks ago, and I want to thank the previous Health Minister for her work in delivering these revolutionary new medical spaces as well. The Caboolture Hospital redevelopment, worth almost $400 million, is also nearing completion, with a new and expanded emergency department, an expanded special care nursery, a day chemotherapy unit, more beds and more parking set to come online this year. And this budget continues funding for construction of new ambulance stations at both the north and south borders of my electorate in Morayfield and Lawton. We did the sod turn at Morayfield last month, and I know the member for Morayfield, my neighbour, Minister Ryan, is very excited about that as well. In education, we're making kindy free for our little Queenslanders from next year, saving new kindy families $4,600 and allowing parents and carers some time to get back into the workforce or take on a little bit more work than they are if they choose to. And while we're talking about our little people, I'll just mention the new Swim Start vouchers we're funding for families with children aged 0 to 4. They'll be able to apply for up to $150 each. With the cost of living rising across the nation, I know swimming lessons can seem a luxury for struggling families, and this program is set to help them out. More on our education investment. The 9 state schools in my electorate will share in $1 million of maintenance and minor works money, with classroom block refurbishments also funded for Burpengary State School. And it's Narangba, I know the member for Bancroft's particularly passionate about Burpengary State School, and it's Narangba State School's turn for some big-ticket love this year, with $3.5 million in the budget to build additional specialist classrooms and fund 2 refurbishment projects. I want to acknowledge Principal Angela Bell, who's new to the school this year, on these great early achievements and commend the hard-working P&C there as well. I look forward to working with the school community to deliver these improvements. I want to once again thank the Treasurer for delivering this amazing budget, as well as acknowledge the tough economic climate in which it's delivered. Those opposite, they haven't agreed to continue our revenue stream of progressive coal mining royalties. It's not surprising, really, when you consider the head of the Resources Council's anti-Labor campaign is a former LNP minister. I've just got to say, I don't know how they're going to fund, opposite the promises that they've said, without the progressive coal royalties. I know of a few ways that they can do it. They could sell assets like they did last time, and I know we hear from opposite Labor sold assets. Well, the LNP sold over $10 billion of assets when they were in power last time as well, and I've tabled documents in this place again and again that show that. So that's one way they fund it. They also fund things by sacking and cutting services. It seems the LNP would rather see struggling Queensland families, if they don't accept the coal royalties, choose between food and rent, struggling seniors choose to be cold for fear of their energy bills, struggling workers unable to put petrol in their cars, then ask their mining mates to share the billions and billions of dollars in profits they make from Queensland's natural resources. I don't think that passes the pub test. Sometimes we have to make tough choices. I'm proud to be a member of the Palaszczuk State Labor Government, making them for the benefit of our battlers, delivering cost of living relief, good jobs, better services, and continuing to invest in our great lifestyle here in Queensland. Speaker, Deputy Speaker.